الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وبعد. We continue with our lesson, the Kitab al-Siyam, and inshallah ta'ala اليوم we are going to look at أحكام الحلال وأهل العذر في رمضان. The rulings on the crescent وأهل العذر في Ramadan, and the people with those who have got the excuses in the month of Ramadan, those who cannot fast because of the excuse which they have. من الأحكام متعلقة برمضان, from the rulings which are connected with Ramadan, معرفة دخوله وخروجه, knowing upon the Ramadan when it is entering, when it is starting, and when Ramadan is ending. وهذا يتعلق برؤية الهلال, and this connects with the sighting the crescent. لكن تحقق ذلك والعمل به يرتبط بصفات من قال برؤيته. And that is لكن, but to verify that and to work with it, it is connected with the particular description which is برؤيته, upon sighting the moon. من عدالات ونحوها ويتفرع على ذلك أحكام مختلفة, وقد وضح الشيخ هذه الأحكام في هذه المادة, ثم ذكر من يجب عليه الصوم. Then after that, the Shaykh, when he talked about the rulings about the moon, then he comes and say about who is it wajib for him to fast. Which person is wajib on him to fast? وَمَنْ يَكُونْ مَعْذُورًا يُحَقُّ لَهُ الْفِطْرِ, and who is that person who has got the excuse that he has to break his fast. وَمَنْ لَا يَصِحُّ صَوْمَهُ مِنْ أَهْلِ الْأَعْذَارِ, and the one whose fasting is not correct from those people who have got those particular other excuses. وغير ذلك من المسائل المتعلقة بأهل الأعذار, and any other from the masail which are connected from the people of the excuses. صفة من يتعدى برؤيته. So now let's look at the description, what connects about the sighting of the moon. فيقول المصنف رحمه الله تعالى ويصام برؤية عدل ولو أنثى. Then fasting is fasted. You start fasting برؤيته, upon sighting the moon. Which person is that? Adil, a person who is just. Yani when a person who sees the moon who is just, walau unta, even if it can be a lady, a woman, as long as she is just in her deen, just in the deen of Allah, and just in her contact with her life, with his life. Yani you are just with your friends, you are just with the deen of Allah, you are just in your life is all about just. You are able to do at least. You are not a liar. People, they don't take you to be a liar. People, they don't take you to be a joker. People, they don't take you to be a person who has got bad character. You are someone who is trying to follow the commandments of Allah. The qudra, you can manage to follow the commandments of Allah. أيصام شهر رمضان إذا رآه شخص واحد. Yani, the connection here is for us to understand is that sighting the moon in the beginning of Ramadan, it is only about, the minimum is one person. أيصام شهر رمضان إذا رآه شخص واحد, that you fast the month of Ramadan if you sight the moon, even if it is one person. وَالْعَدْلُ الْمُرَادُ بِهِ, and the adala here, what it means, مَنْ يَجْتَنِبُ الْكَبَائِرِ, a person who refrains from the major sins. وَيَتَّقِي فِي غَالِبُ حَالِهِ صَغَائِرِ, and also he fears most of his time in these minor sins. العدل من يجتنب الكبائر ويتقي في الأغلب صغائر فإذا كان مجتنبا للكبائر. If a person is able to prevent himself from the major sins, وهي المعاصي, the major sins, Al-kabira kal-katri, like killing, wal-zina, adultery, wa-shurb al-khamr, drinking beer, wa-nahuha, fahuwa adl. Then that person is a just person, a person whom if he says, I have sighted the moon, then people, they will say, okay, he has sighted the moon because of this particular sifa, he does not do them. وقلنا ويستنب في غالب حاله لأنه لا يمكن لأحد أن يسلم من الصغائر. Then we have said that he prevents himself from most of the time the minor sins, because there is no way لا يمكن لأحد لا, there is no way, it's not possible for anyone that you cannot commit minor sin. It is not possible. Everyone will have, you can prevent yourself from the major sins, but the minor sins, it is not that possible that you can say, me, I do not commit any sin, either whether a minor sin. No, that's not possible. وقد أشار عليه الصلاة والسلام إلى ذلك, and the Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم pointed to that بقوله في الحديث إن تغفر اللهم تغفر جمّا. If you want to ask in تغفر, if you are asking for the maghfirah, for forgiveness, you are saying, Allahumma taghfir jamman, oh Allah, forgive in totality, and any sin, this minor sins, you are asking Allah for all these, all the things. Sometimes you commit a sin where you are not even, you never even made an intention of doing that, but you commit that particular sin. So you asking Allahumma taghfir jamman wa ay abdu laka ma alma. So you are asking Allah, the Messenger is teaching us that when we are asking Allah, we ask Allah for all the sins, whether you have known them or you have not known them. Sometimes you commit a sin where you are unaware that you have committed a sin. You have injured your brother, you said something, maybe your brother didn't even show that he is not happy with what you have said. Maybe he's angry with them. Maybe you have given just a comment which doesn't make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be happy with that. So, jamman ay shay'an kathira wa ay abdu laka ma alaman ay abdu min ibadika lam yusib lamma wa hiya sagha'ir dhunub. So, wa ay abdu laka ma alaman, and there is no, which one of your slaves who is not affected with these minor sins? So the Messenger is telling us there's no any slave, there's no any servant of God who cannot be affected with the minor sins. So we have to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the minor sins. فَلَا يُمْكِنْ لِلْإِنسَانِ أَن يُسَلِّمْ مِنْ صَغَائِرِ الذُّنُوبِ. There is no way for a person to be prevented, to stay away completely from the minor sins. وَصَغَائِرِ الذُّنُوبِ لَهَا أَمْثِلَةٌ مِنْهَا. And the examples of the minor sins are مثل النظر, looking. وإن كان بعض العلماء يفاوتها بحسبها فالنظر إلى العورة المغلظة ليس كنظر إلى وجه. The looking at the private part or the privacy of someone is not like looking the way you look at the face. Because when you look at the face, it's different from looking at the aura. Why have you covered the private part? Because you don't want anyone to see it. That's why you have covered it. Then now someone comes, you want to see what you have covered. Meanwhile, the face is different. You do not cover the face. فالمقصود أنه إذا اتقى في غالب حاله صغائر ذنوب فهو عدل. أما لو أصر على صغيرة وداود عليها فإنه لا يكون عدلا. وداوم عليها فإنه لا يكون عدلا. Then here, if a person is committing sins, غالبا, sometimes, not every time, these minor sins. But if a person is always doing this minor sin every day, he's doing it, وَدَاوَمَ عَلَيْهَا, and he's doing it every day, he's repeating the same, فَإِنَّهُ لَا يَكُونُ عَدِلًا. This person cannot be considered to be just. Why? Because you are doing a minor sin now, has become like a habit to you. You are doing it every time. So the sin which has become like a habit every time is not considered, you cannot be considered to be adil because of that habit which you have of doing that particular minor sin every day. وَلِذَلِكَ قَالُوا لَا كَبِيرَةٌ مَعَ الْإِسْتِغْفَارُ. There is no istighfar on the major sins. وَلَا صَغِيرَةٌ مَعَ الْإِسْرَارِ فَإِنَّ صَغَائِرِ الذُّنُوبِ تُحْرِقُ صَاحِبُهَا. Because the minor sins, they always destroy the honor. كما أن الجبال تكون من دقائق الحصى فَإِنَّ الْهَلَاكَ إِنسَانُ قَدْ يَكُونُ بِصَغَائِرِ الذُّنُوبِ. The destroying of a person can only become from the small sins. ولذلك يقول ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما لا تنظر إلى معصيتك. Do not look at your sins. ولكن انظر إلى من عصيت. But look at the one you have committed sin against. So do not look at the sin. No, this is just a minor sin. No. But look at the one you have committed that sin against. Who is that? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now always let's look at the one who have committed the sin to, not the sin itself. So do not belittle a sin, says, no, this is just a small sin. No, but look at the one who made that sin to be a sin. The one you have, لا تنظر إلى معصيتك ولكن انظر إلى من عصيت. But look at the one you have committed the sin against. فإذا كان نظر الإنسان إلى عظمة الله سبحانه وتعالى فإن صغيرة تصبح في عينه كبيرة. So if a person looks at the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, فَإِنَّ صَغِيرَةٌ تُصْبَحُ فِي عَيْنِهِ كَبِيرَةٌ. Then the minor things, these minor sins, in his eyes, they will look to be bigger because you're looking at the greatness of Allah. لكن إذا استخف بذلك ونظر إلى أنها شيء يسير. But if you belittle that and you look at this is a small thing, يسير فقد تهلكه وتوبكه. نسأل الله السلامة والعافية. So if you look at a sin to be this is minor, it means you have destroyed yourself. فالعدل هو الذي يتقي في غالب حالة صغائر الذنوب. So an adult person is that person who sometimes falls into these minor sins. Okay. So that is the shahada adl. معناه إذا شهد غير العدل لم تقبل شهادته. So now the condition here is for a person who sighting the moon should be adl. One person, and that person should be adl. We have explained about the adala in this particular explanation. Okay. So مسألة قبول شهادة فاسق إلا انتشار الفسق. We are finished with the person who is supposed to be taken his, if someone says, I've seen the moon, whom are we going to accept that sighting from? We are going to accept from a Muslim who is adil. And we have explained adil, a person who prevents himself, he doesn't do much the major sins, and most of the time he tries by all means to protect himself from the minor sins. He might fall into them now and then, but he does not make it as a habit to commit those minor sins. So this is a person who says, Wallahi, I've sighted the moon. Then it means therefore they have to start fasting tomorrow. What about in times where there's too much of fasting? There's too much of bad doings. The fitna has really gone bad. People, they are misbehaving a lot, and there's too much of intishar of it. What happens? And you cannot find that particular person where you can say, this is a person who can say adala. You find that all the people are just the same. هناك مسألة ذكرها شيخ الإسلام رحمة الله عليه وأشار إليها ابن فرهون في تبصرة وطرابرس صاحب معين الأحكام الذي كتبه في مناهج القضاء. وهذه مسألة تقول, there is a mas'ala which Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ta'ala, he has talked about it. وأشار إليها also Ibn Farhun has also pointed at it in his book تبصرة وطرابرس صاحب معين الأحكام الذي كتبه في مناهج القضاء, where he talked about the principles of rulings. وهذه مسألة تقول, and this مسألة says, لو حدث شيء في مكان, if something happens at a particular place, لا تجد فيه العدل, and you cannot find a person who is just, أو قد لا تجد العدل إلا بصعوبة, and maybe you cannot find someone who is just except with the difficulties. ثم جاء شهود من هذا المكان, then the witnesses come from this particular place, الذي أصابه فساق, and the ones who have been affected with these evil deeds, فهل نقبل شهادتهم أو لا? do we accept their witnessing or no? قرر شيخ الإسلام ابن تيمية أنه إذا عم وانتشرت فإنه يقبل أمثلة الفساق. If إذا عم وانتشر, if evil doings has really spread amongst the people, فإنه يقبل أمثل الفساق. أمثل الفساق يقبل, it will be accepted example of that particular fasaq. يعني ممن يعرف بالصدق. How do you know about the person who's truthful? أو يعرف بالإضباط. والحقيقة أن كلام شيخ الإسلام ابن تيمية أصل قوي لأن الحاجة تدعو إليه. Because now you are going to look at these particular people in this particular mujtama, this society. You know, even if there's too much evil which has been spread, but still more, you look at the type of the people, the characters of certain people, their evil is not like the others. Yes, they might be fall into other particular issues, but there are certain issues where they are not liars. Okay, so you are looking at this. So now, Ibn Taymiyyah, rahmatullah alayhi, is using the words which is like the umum. He's not he's bringing the word which yushmiru yani kullu yani. He talks about everything in it. And these words, aslut kawi, is very strongly. And haja, because need tad'u ilayhi, it goes back to it. وهي التي يسمونه مسائل umum balawi, because this is a type of mas'ala which is known as the mas'ala which is in general. وهي مفرعة على القاعدة المعروفة أن الأمر إذا ضاق اتسع، وإذا اتسع ضاق. فإذا كان الناس في سعة وكان عدول كثيرين فحينئذ نضيق على الناس في شهادة. Then in this particular situation, when the situation is like that, we are going to squeeze and try to squeeze the people and find out there must be some people who are in the same. There must be some people who are not having those bad characters like any other. Even if they have these bad evil deeds, but still more, there's a lot of other good aspect of them. So now you're going to squeeze and try to make taftish on how you are going to look at this particular shahada. So you're not going just to accept any particular shahada within them, but you're going to look at the people whom which person has said that if a person every time he makes jokes, he jokes with people every time, you do not know the truth about him. Such a person, you cannot get him to say that, no, I've seen the moon. So this is his past is worse. But there are people who don't even joke, but they have any other, maybe the other type of fisk which they have, evil deeds which they have, but in this particular angle they don't lie. So that's why Ibn Taymiyyah says we are going to make taftish, we are going to make sure that these people, we make taftish in them, we squeeze them, we interrogate them, we look at their particular angle. Which angle is there? Are they there? If fisk is all about? Is it in general that these guys, whatever they say every time is lies, or maybe there's an angle where there is truth in them? So أي كان العدول قليلين فحينئذ يتسع الأمر ونحكم بقبول شهادة من هو أمثل. Then if the people who are just a little, then فحينئذ يتسع الأمر, then we widen up the command ونحكم بقبول شهادة. Then we also accept the witnesses of those who are in the example of that. So it means from them, we are going to look at akhafu dararain. Okay, maybe we have got two people who have got two evils. Now we are looking at the lighter evil. Among these people, who has got a lighter evil? And he can say something which we can accept from them. So this is how in the mujtama'a where we have got that first. But you know for sure that here, normally it's very rare we look at the issue of the moon. We only depend on others because most of the time, this time of Ramadan, you find it is cloudy, you can't see it, you can't see the moon, and hence you find that this is sometimes applicable, sometimes not applicable. Shahadat al-ajl al-wahid bi ru'yat al-hilal. The witness acceptance of a just man by sighting the moon. فَلَوْ جَاءَنَا رَجُلٌ وَاحِدٌ وَشَهَدَ أَنَّهُ رَأَى هِلَالَ رَمَضَانَ فَهَلْ يُصَامُ أَوْ لَا? If a man comes to us who is only one and he has witnessed that have seen the moon, should we fast or no? لِلْعُلَمَاءُ وَجْهَانِ, for the scholars have got two opinions on this. Al-Jumhur, the majority of the scholars, أَنَّ عَلَى أَنَّ شَهَادَةُ وَاحِدٍ تُقْبَلُ, that the witness of one person, it is acceptable. وَأَنَّ هَذَا لَيْسَ مِنْ بَابُ شَهَادَةٍ وَإِنَّمَا هُوَ مِنْ بَابُ الْخَبَرِ. This is not on the way of witnessing, but this person has brought us the information. وَإِنَّمَا هُوَ مِنْ بَابُ الْخَبَرِ. But this person has come to tell us that he has sighted the moon, so it is in باب الخبر. لأن شهادة لا بد فيها من التعدد, because witnessing it لا بد فيها من التعدد. There must be a number. You cannot just be one person to say I've witnessed. There must be also others who have seen. ولا تقبل فيها شهادة الواحد. Then it is not acceptable just to have one particular person who says, me, I've witnessed. وَشَرْعْ دَائِمًا يُقْبَلُ الْعَدَدِ. And the Sharia always accept the number. وبناء على ذلك قالوا تقبل شهادة الواحد لحديث ابن عمر رضي الله عنهما أنه رأى الهلال وأخبر النبي. Then it is acceptable تقبل شهادة. The one person who sights the moon, it is acceptable because of the hadith of Ibn Umar radiallahu anhuma, when he says he saw the moon and he informed the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, فَصَامَهُ وَأَمَرَ النَّاسَ بِصِيَامِهِ. The Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam fasted and he commanded people to fast. فَدَلَّ ذَلِكَ عَلَى قُبُولِ شَهَادَةُ وَاحِدٍ فِي دُخُولِ شَهْرِ رَمَضَانَ. And this shows that one person is acceptable in the beginning of Ramadan, in the entering of Ramadan. وفي حديث الأعرابي أنه شهد إن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, and also the hadith of a Bedouin who came and made witness before the Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال له أتشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأن رسول الله وأني رسول الله. And he says, do you bear witness that there is no God worth of worship and that I am the messenger of Allah? قال نعم. He says, yes. قال يا بلال. Then the Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم called upon Bilal رضي الله عنه. قم فأذن بالناس أن يصوموا غدا. Stand up and call upon the people that they should fast tomorrow. ولكنه حديث ضعيف, but this hadith is weak. والحديث ابن عمر أقوى منه والصحاح غير واحد من العلماء منهم حاكم وغيره. But the truth is that the hadith of Ibn Umar, that himself sighted the moon and he came to the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam fasted and everyone fasted, that hadith is strong. And also the ulamas, they have also made tasahih, corrected the hadith وغيره. وهو يدل على أن شهادة واحد يثبت بها شهر رمضان. وإذا قلنا إن قبول شهادته إنما هو من باب الخبر لا من باب شهادة فحينئذ يقال بقبول شهادة الأنثى. If we say that one person to testify that he has sighted the moon, this is not on the way of testifying, because testifying, it needs a good number of the people who are supposed to testify. But this one is used only to inform that this person has sighted the moon. Then this means that even women, even if it is one woman who has sighted the moon, then she comes and informs the rest, then it is also accepted. Because you know for sure that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran has put shahada of women always to be two. The shahada of women always to be two. Look at the Surah Al-Baqarah, one page where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about the dain, the credit in Surah Al-Baqarah. One page, the whole page, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one verse which is talking about the credit, and there when he says that there is a woman, a man, and two women. So always the witness of women should be two equal to one for a man. And also when we look at the Surah An-Nisa in Mirath, in terms of inheritance, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says لِلذَّكَرِ مِثْلُ حَظِّ الْأُنْثَيَيْنِ. For a man, for a boy, it is equal to 2 unthayain, 2 ladies, 2 girls. So here now, because if we say testifying, so it is not on the way of testifying, but this is on the way of informing, where that women, they do not need to be 2 for them to bring the information. Even 1 is enough to bring this particular information. فلو أن امرأة شهدت برؤية الهلال قبلت شهادتها لكن من باب الخبر لا من باب خبر لا من باب شهادة. والفرق بينهما أن شهادة يشترط فيها العدد وأيضا لابد أن يحكم قاضي. And the difference here on the issue of testifying and the issue of information is that testifying always, it needs a number of people to testify, and also it needs a ruling from the judge. فيأتي إلى المجلس القضاء ويشهد. He comes in front of the sitting of the judges and he testifies. ويثبت الدخول بشهادته. Then now they accept the entering of the month of Ramadan because of his testifying. وكذلك تكون شهادة باللفظ أشهد أني رأيت الهلال ويصف رؤيته على وجه تنتفي به تهمة. Then also, not only that, he has also to pronounce the shahada that I testify that I've seen the crescent, and also describe how that crescent is about. وكذلك يشترط في شهادة الذكورية فلا يقبل فيها أقل من شهادين ويشترط فيها ذكورية. And also when it comes to the witnesses, they only accept the witnesses of the male, and they also do not accept the shahada, the testifying of, the minimum testifying should be 2 people. They will not accept from 1 person. فلا تقبل شهادة الأنثى, and the testifying of a woman is not accepted لأن الأنثى شهادتها على نوعين, because a woman, her witnessing is on 2 types. In كانت في الأموال, if it is concerning the money, وما يتبع الأموال, and whatever follows the money, فقبلت شهادتها, then her testifying is accepted. وإن كانت في غير الأموال, but if it is not relating to money, فالإناث لا تكبر شهادتهن. For women, it is not accepted her testimony. Listen to this carefully. A woman in Islam, her testimony, her to testify, it is only accepted in the money. Like what I said prior, that the verse in Surah Al-Baqarah, which talks about her, the whole entire 1 verse, 1 page is talking about her. This is the only place where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has allowed a woman to testify. No, I'm back. Alhamdulillah. Hey, now. So in كانت في الأموال وما يتبع الأموال, this one we have talked about that. ودليل على وإن كانت في غير الأموال فالإناث لا تكبر شهادتهن لحكمة من الله سبحانه وتعالى, from the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do not ask women, please don't ask me why. This is the hikmah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. على ذلك أن الله سبحانه وتعالى في آية النور أمرنا in Surah النور أمرنا باستشهاد 4 على زنا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded us to make 4 times testifying with the issue of zina, when a husband and a wife, when a husband has found a wife committing zina, he testifies because he's alone. In general, first of all, in general, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded us to bring 4 witnesses, 4 witnesses that these people, they have committed zina. Now, in case of a husband and a wife, in the same surah, in case of a husband and a wife, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala أمرنا باستشهاد 4 على زنا فلو كانت امرأة تشهد لكالة أو 8 لكن في الأموال في آية بقرة قال سبحانه وتعالى فإن لم يكون رجلين فرجل وامرأتان ممن ترضون من الشهداء فنزل المرأتين منزلة الرجل واحد. وقال تعالى أن تضل إحداهن إحداهن إن تضل إحداهما تذكر. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the surah Nur, when he's talking about the witness, it is you yourself. You say that you have found your wife committing zina. She is refusing. No, me, I have not committed zina. Okay. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands that a man should swear 4 times that wallahi I've seen this woman committing zina. She also should swear 4 times. Okay? So it is herself making shahada of herself. And of course, Uquba has been connected to it. But in Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he has mentioned that a man, and if you only have one man, فَإِن لَمْ يَكُونَ رَجُلَيْنِ, if you do not have 2 men as witnesses, فَرَجُلٌ, 1 man, وَمُرَأَتَانِ, and 2 women. مِمَّنْ تَرْضَوْنَ, whomever you are pleased, means shuhada, from there being there, for them to testify. The people whom you say, okay, these people, they can testify, they are okay. They can keep amana. فَنَزَلَ امْرَأَتَيْنِ, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he commanded 2 women, مَنْزِلَةُ الرَّجُلُ, equal to 1 man. وَقَالَ تَعَالَى أَنْ تَضِلَّ إِحْدَاهُمَا فَتُذَكِّرَ, so that when one is astray, when one has forgotten, فَتُذَكِّرَ, the other one is going to remind her. فَتُذَكِّرَ إِحْدَاهُمَا الْأُخْرَى, أي أن شهادتها معها بمثابة رجل تذكرها بمعنى تنزلها منزلة الرجل سلاح هذا الكون. So this is where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put the women where they can testify. So here we are saying that when it comes to the testifying of the moon, should be 1 man is enough to witness only, to give information. If even a woman also is enough to give information that I've seen the moon. But when it comes to the issue of making shahada, to testify, then there we need 2 men. The minimum is 2 men, and the woman is not acceptable to make that, to testify, and the conditions of testifying is different from the issue of sighting the moon. On this one, always, have we understood the mas'ala? If there's any question on that one, we go to the next mas'ala. Hukum ikmar Ramadan inda tabyin khata shahada. Makeda? Ya sila moto. نعم أم فريشة.
السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام.
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Could you summarize just a little bit?
On which one?
Now, could you summarize the part for the women testifying? Just summarizing it again.
All right. You can, okay. Now, in summary form, we are saying that when it comes to the issue of sighting the moon, the ulama, they are saying that 1 person who has seen the moon and he comes to inform the society that I've sighted the moon, whether it is a man or a woman, as long as these people, they have sighted the moon and they can say that I've sighted the moon, okay? Then in the way of just informing that I have sighted the moon, that will be acceptable from both male and female, without any condition attached to it. But when it comes to the issue of testifying, that I testify that I've seen the moon, I testify that I've seen the moon, it is only men who are allowed in Islam to testify that they have sighted the moon. The hikmah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How is this? Because testifying has got conditions different from ikhbar, from the informing. Testifying, for it, number 1, it has to have number. The minimum number for people to testify is two men. is 2 men. Like the way Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah number 282, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about, فَإِنْ كَانَ رَجُلَانِ فَإِنْ لَمْ يَكُنْ رَجُلَانِ. If you do not have 2 men, if you do not have 2 men, then, so now here, it means that the minimum number of shahada is it 2. To testify is 2. In a situation where a woman has been allowed in the Sharia to testify is only one situation in this same ayah, Surah Al-Baqarah 282, that a woman is allowed to testify only the issues concerning money. Only the issues concerning money, a woman can be a witness and testify. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put that always women, 2 women is equal to 1. So, فَإِنْ لَمْ يَكُنْ رَجُلَانِ فَرَجُلٌ وَاحِدٌ وَامْرَأَتَانِ. That it should be 1 man and 2 women. So women here also, 1 woman is not enough. If the testifying of a woman comes only 1, then this one she's doing, they are taken out of this. They will not be there. So the minimum for women should always be 2 and 1 man. So that this one, if the other one forgets, she can remember, she can remind the other one. So the testifying in Islam, women are only allowed to testify when it comes to the issues of amwal, only the money. Because when she says that I've sighted the moon. Now, in Sharia, we are supposed to have 2 men, minimum, to testify. And then there, women, how many are they going to be? They are going to be 4. Okay? Then, hence, it will become a little bit difficult to find the 4 women to come and testify that the moon has sighted for you to go and look, except in one particular situation in Surah An-Nur, a woman herself, she is testifying 4 times herself, not to go and look for other 4 women, but herself, she's saying, Wallahi, ashhad that no, I've not committed zina, or my husband has done this. Herself. So there's a difference here in this surah to know what talks about zina and when it talks about witnessing other things. This zina is yata'allaq bi herself and the husband here. But when we're talking about the sighting of the moon here, we're talking about for everyone. So it must be only women are allowed when it comes to the issue of informing that, yes, I've sighted the moon. Min babu ikhbar, not that I've witnessed. I'm testifying that I've sighted the moon. No, that one is not allowed from the women, and women are only allowed to testify when it comes to the issues of money. This is the deen of Allah. This is the deen of Allah. So women, please do not ask me why. Question that is the hikmah from Allah. I do not know. Why women only? And we cannot question Allah. Why Allah did he say 1 man to 2? Allah knows best. That is the wisdom which is there. Of course, the ulamas have explained. There is tafsir for that. They have made tafsir. Even the same ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has also made the tafsir. I've also explained to that. That you can, so that if the one she forgets, then she will, the other one will remind her or will stand on that behalf. Of course, the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam has also talks about a woman being naqis in her deen. That a woman in her deen rituals, she's not complete. A woman in her deen rituals, she's not complete. There is a time a woman is not allowed to pray. In every month, there is some days a woman is not allowed to pray. So there again, sometimes you can go many days, up to 40. The ulamas have talked even up to 40. A woman is not praying. And that one is okay for her. And Allah is not going to ask her that why you didn't pray, you are supposed to pay back these days you have missed your salat. No. Only what the woman is allowed to do that is as sawm, only to pay back the days she has missed for fasting. So there's nuqsan in a woman. Hence, there's a lot of wisdom. If we were to enter into that and discuss more, it should be another topic of the day that we discuss why all this nuqsan of a woman, why a woman is this and that. This is how Allah has created a woman. A man is, that's why the creation of a man and a woman are two different. We can never be equal. The only equalness which a man and a woman have is in the taqwa Allah. Akramakum indallahi atikakum. Only. They are women who fear Allah more than men. They are there. Who are fearing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more than men. They are there. There are also men who fear more Allah than women. They are also there. So the gauge which we have only between the men and the men themselves, the women and women themselves, or men and women, is the gauge of the taqwa. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. So that's the measure which we have. So if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put up a legislation and the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said about it, then for us is to say sami'na wa ata'na, that we hear and we follow what we have been informed about it. So the shahada of a woman is not acceptable, but only the ikhbar, when a woman tells us that she has sighted the moon, yes, we are going. In fact, there is some reasons which I'm seeing here, which they have listened, they have put forward. I think it would be important for us to go through these reasons. I can see we have a lot of women in this group today, so that you understand the mas'ala and see the hikmah, the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, why He has put that in the women. We just complete the adhan, inshallah, then we continue. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. So to continue, after Rabbana on the adhan, so now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the women, that women, they have got two things in them. There is that naqis, incomplete, fi makani kamil wa fi makani naqis. They have got completion and they have got that incompletion in them. Okay? They have got that softness, wadhaf, and weakness in them. These are women. وفي مكان ناقص فإذا جاءت امرأة تشهد فإنها لا تستطيع لأنها فيها عاطفة. If it comes to the situation where she is incomplete, then she's asked to become the witness to testify. She will not manage. لأنها فيها عاطفة, because of that softness in her. ولذلك يقول العلماء لو أن المرأة خاصمت رجل فإنها تتكلم بكلمتين, that if a woman is fighting with a man, she would speak فإنها تتكلم بكلمتين أو ثلاثة, she will speak 2 words or 3 words, ثم تبقي وتستوي عليها العاطفة, then she will cry, then her I don't know what عاطفة is. عاطفة chifundo. So that one will overtake her. فَلَا تَسْتَطِيعُ أَن تُكْمِلُ كَلَامَهَا. Then she will not be able to complete her words. وَسَبَبُ فِي هَذَا أَنَّ اللَّهَ وَسَبَبُ أَنَّ هَذَا أَنَّ اللَّهَ جَبَلَهَا عَلَى هَذَا حِكْمَةٌ مِنْهُ سُبْحَانَهُ وَرِفْقًا بِالْأَوْلَادِ وَبِالذُّرِّيَّةِ. Because a woman is atifa, she's emotional. Atifa is emotional. So because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made her in this way, we had a hikmah, with this particular wisdom, why? Minhu subhanahu wa rifqan, to be soft bil awlad, so that she's soft with the children, wa bidhurriya, and also the offspring. فتجد من حنانها وعطفها على ولدها ما لا يستطيع الرجل أن ينظر منزلتها. You find the emotions which a woman has, her softness, her care, which a woman has towards her children, a man cannot match to her. So this, find that it is difficult for us men. If you want to test a man, give him a child, a baby just for 2-3 minutes. He will think that he has been with a child. So the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which has put upon a woman, then you look at all this. So many times you find that she's overtaken by emotions, and these emotions sometimes overpower her. Hence, she will make her judgment will not be just because of that. And sometimes you find that because of these same emotions, she fails to talk. She just starts crying. This is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has it. Now, because of these reasons which Allah has put forth, who knows a woman better than themselves, the women? That's why in terms of this testifying, a woman has been exempted from it, so that they should not bring the emotions into that. وَلَمَّا كَانَتْ شَهَادَةٌ تَحْتَاجُ إِلَى تَرْوِيضٍ تَثْبُتْ فَالشَّاهِدْ يَرَى الدِّمَاءَ وَيَرَى الْأَشْلَاءَ ويرى القطع. فإذا كانت امرأة قاضية ضعيفة القلب فإنها لا تستطيع أن تتحمل هذا، ولذلك بمجرد أن ترى هذه الأشياء فإنها تصرخ. So a woman is weak in terms of certain things. The weakness we are talking about is not the weakness of Iman. Please, we are not talking about the weakness of the strongness of Iman here. We are talking about the weakness of the emotions, because of how Allah has created her nature. Inshallah, we'll stop from here. Tomorrow we'll start from page 26, inshallah. Let's finish up this so that we can start the complete mas'ala there. فَإِذَا كَانَتْ Okay. So this one, it tells us that women, they cannot testify because of their nature, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created them, because they are full of emotions. They are full of not complete because of certain times where they are, for sure how you are, you women. I can't tell you about you yourselves. You know yourselves better. How you become emotional when you are not in the time of praying. You know how you are. Sometimes when it comes in the different way, you don't even want to talk to anyone. You don't even want your husband near you. All those are the ones which we're talking about here. Now you're supposed to testify and you're in that particular mood. How are you going to testify? So that is difficult for you to testify. You are in that particular mood and you don't even want to talk to anyone. How? You can't. So the hikmah which Allah has put for a woman is really good for the women themselves, benefit much, because otherwise when they are that, so you don't control yourself. These are the things which Allah has created you with. This anger, the emotions, the what, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created you with you that. So you are just fine, but when you become in that situation, you are a different person, a different animal. So now you say, but how? No. We understand in your situation you are in because of what is happening in your body, and this is how Allah has created you. For that, Allah has exempted you from certain things which you're not supposed to do them, because He knows you better than you know yourself. Inshallah ta'ala, tomorrow, Hukum Ikmaru Ramadan in the Tabiyin Khatwa Shahada. The ruling of completion of Ramadan after verifying that in the beginning there was a false testimony. There was not really false, but there was a khatwa, there was something wrong in the testimony. Maybe the person thought he sighted the moon, and yet he did not even sight the moon. It wasn't the moon which he saw, but people, they fasted. So that is what we'll be talking about tomorrow, inshallah ta'ala. We are going to stop here. Is there any question on what we have taken so far? هل من سؤال؟ Okay, we end here. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.